What's up, Automation Nation? Today we're going to do an introduction on the Raspberry Pi 5. Many of the concepts covered in this video will apply to all versions of the Raspberry Pi, and this video should serve as a great start here introduction to the Raspberry Pi ecosystem. But it is important to note that some Linux commands and some GPIO commands are a little different for the Pi 5. Now, this is not specifically a Linux tutorial, nor is it specifically a Python tutorial or electronics wiring tutorial. Rather, it's going to cover the essentials of all three of these to get started programming in the Raspberry Pi ecosystem. I'll do my best to talk thoroughly through what I'm doing and why I'm doing it as I get to each of these concepts, but we're going to make this a practical tutorial to get you started building Raspberry Pi projects as fast as possible. And before we dive into the practical piece of this tutorial, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, the Raspberry Pi itself is awesome. It's this mini all-in-one computer board, and right out of the box it has an RJ45 for Ethernet connectivity, it has 4 USB ports, 2 micro HDMI ports, and a USB-C power input port. It has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities, and this 40-pin header is the general purpose I/O pin header, which is the same format as past iterations of the Pi have used. So the deep Pi ecosystem of hats and shields that already exists can keep being used for this Pi 5. I have an 8GB RAM model here, but they come in 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16GB RAM iterations, and you just want to pick one based on your anticipated project needs. If this is your first Raspberry Pi and you're generally just looking for something to learn the Pi platform on, but don't have an exact project in mind, you might want to consider getting a kit like this Cana kit. These kits will typically come with the Raspberry Pi as well as a compatible Linux operating system loaded on a micro SD card ready to be inserted into the Pi, a case so you don't have to worry about damaging the board, and this one has a USB-C power supply, some micro HDMI to regular HDMI cables, and a fan and heatsink. They're very nice for beginners to get started quickly and already have everything you need to start making projects. I'm going to pop my Raspberry Pi into its case, but I'm going to leave the top off so it's clear what I'm connecting to here in this tutorial. And the first thing I'm going to do is insert this micro SD card with the Raspberry Pi OS loaded onto it in the micro SD slot. The Pi will know to read the operating system from this card when it boots up. And now I'm going to connect a monitor, keyboard, and mouse directly to the Pi. And now finally, I'm going to plug in and power up the Pi. From here, it just starts to feel like having a computer in front of you. And admittedly, if you've only ever used Windows PCs, there are some new things to get used to with the Linux platform, but any tech-savvy person can navigate the basics of this platform. Let's take a look at some of the cool things you can do really quickly with a Pi that aren't as readily available to you if you're familiar with an Arduino Nano or other tiny microcontroller. We can plug a USB webcam in and boot up Thonny, which is a simple Python IDE that comes preloaded on most instances of the Pi OS, and import the CV2 Python OpenCV library, and we can throw down this very simple capture and stream code. Now, just like that, we're using a USB webcam and Python programming to stream some video. But you can easily do this with any computer. So let's take a look at a cool example of reading inputs and writing to outputs, similar to something we could do on an Arduino. Here we need to pause and add a little hardware to the mix. You can try to cram tiny cables right onto the GPIO pins, but it's much easier for development work to get one of these affordable GPIO expansion kits, and these allow you to snap a ribbon cable to the GPIO pins and then land this adapter on a breadboard. This should be very familiar for anyone used to doing basic electronics prototyping. At this point, I'm going to pop the top back onto my Pi as well, since these cases are intelligently made to support one of these ribbon cables being able to escape the side of the case, while still protecting the board, and in this case, adding a fan and a heat shield for cooling while running more intense applications. Now let's hook up 2 LED lights to digital pins and route them back to ground with a 220 ohm resistor. And let's hook up a push button as well to an input pin, ground, and 3.3 volts DC. Now back in the code, let's write a very simple Python program to import the GPIO library, and let's have that button increment a mode integer and make mode 1 turn light 1 on, mode 2 turn both lights on, and then cycle back to mode 0 where both lights will be off. Python is really user-friendly in my opinion, so this straightforward code also showcases how fun and easy it is to get rolling. Now let's wrap up this video with kind of a cool combination of these two examples. Let's keep the LEDs and push buttons wired up how they already are, but let's add some of the camera streaming code back in. And let's say now when mode 0, the camera feed is off. Mode 1 will be a regular camera feed in full color, and mode 2 will be grayscale for the camera feed. This is pretty easy Python code overall, but if you're a little overwhelmed by anything you see here, just know that there are tons and tons of great Python introductions from YouTube channels like Free Code Camp and even right here on Lemaster Tech to help you level those skills up. Now let's boot this project up and check it out. And I find that this simple project is such a great example of the power of a Raspberry Pi, and a good example of what sets it apart from basic microcontrollers, and a great practical way to dive into Raspberry Pi projects together on the channel. I am not an embedded systems engineer, nor am I a software engineer. I am an automation engineer with a love of tinkering and doing hobby projects. I want this series to focus on practical and useful Raspberry Pi development, so I hope you found this useful. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next on the channel. I like the Pi platform a lot, so you can expect I'll be doing more and more big projects with it on the channel, and make sure to subscribe to Lemaster Tech so you don't miss any of that. If you want to help me grow faster and do big projects faster, you can check out my Patreon linked below as well. Thanks for watching, and see you next time, Automation Nation.